If I've done thousands of people and they all reported the same thing, I know where I'm talking about. Hell was invented by the church. You probably know that. But there is no hell. There's nothing but goodness, positive. It's all wonderful. Once we understand that, we won't be so fearful. I have a daughter who worked in intensive care for 20 years. She said the saddest thing was when she was working with these older people. And there'd be an old woman in there who's dying in fear because she said, I've lived a good life, but I wasn't perfect. And the church says if I wasn't perfect, I'm going to hell. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's expected to be perfect. The only one who was perfect was crucified. You're not expected to be. But look what that's doing. It's making a perfectly good person who has lived her life the best way she can die in fear. So that's why I wanted to write this book so people would know when I'm doing the lectures, there's nothing to be afraid of. You're not going to be sent somewhere to burn forever. You know, as most of us are parents, if your child does something wrong, are you going to throw them in the oven? No, you help them. No matter how bad it gets, even if they go to prison, you're still there for them. You want to help them. So why should the creator of everybody be any different? They'll give you every chance you can, again and again and again and again. It's up to you what you make of it and what you do with it. Stop blaming something over there that it isn't there at all. Okay, well, I'm going to start at the beginning of what it feels like when you die and where you go, and then we'll try to go step by step. And I'll leave some time at the end for you to ask some questions. Some questions are difficult, and I'm going to wait on those until somebody brings them up. But I've found the answer to just about everything I think you would want to know. And that's what the important thing is. Take the fear out of this. Okay. Now, when someone dies, the majority of the time, and even in my work, the majority of the time is just an ordinary death. Old age or illness, and they die in a hospital bed or at home. Of course, when I'm in other lives, they're dying mostly at home. But when someone dies of a very traumatic death, say war or a car accident or murder or something, they're jerked out of their body so quickly that sometimes they don't realize they've died. That's the only difference between what I'm going to describe to you. They're still okay, but they don't understand what's happened because it happened so fast. But as a rule, someone's just dying an ordinary death in their bed or in the hospital bed. First they say they feel cold. And then the next instant, they're standing by the side of the bed looking down at their body. That quickly. They said it's just like getting up from that chair and sitting down in that chair. It's so fast. It's so easy to just slip right out of the body. They're standing next to the body looking down at the body. The first thing they say is, gee, I didn't know I looked that bad. Then the next thing they say is, wow, I'm out of here. I can go anywhere I want. I can do anything I want. That the air conditioning? Okay. It's not too loud, is it? Can you hear me over it? Can you hear me over it? No, they're having trouble back there. You know how to control it? Maybe we can turn it off. Do you need it? Okay, turn it off because they can't hear over here. And even with the microphone, you can just, oh, that's why they're right by the blower. Okay. So that's the next thing they'll say is, I'm out of here. I'm out of that body. I can go anywhere I want. I can do anything I want. This is wonderful. Do you really think they want to go back into that body? Most of the time, there's no way they can make it function again. There's no way they could bring it back to health. They don't want to be in that. We're the ones that want them to hang around. We don't think about them. We're the ones that want them to stay for us. And that's really a selfish motive. We're not thinking about them. If they're never hope they're ever going to get well, if they're too old or too diseased, can you see they really want to go? They really want to leave? I have a doctor friend. I've published 3 of his books, and as he believes also that the mind can heal the body, he says no one dies until they are ready to go. So he said when he's in the hospital and they have the code blue with somebody having a heart attack, especially if it's an old person, he takes his time getting there because he said they want to leave. And it's not our responsibility to keep them here if they really want to go. See what I'm trying to say? We have to look at it from a different perspective. But anyway, they say, I'm out of here because the true side, the spirit side, is so free, it's so beautiful, it's so wonderful, no restrictions, no limitations. And when you're in the body, it's very limiting. I've had people go into the birth experience and they don't like it at all. They say, are they turning it down? Turning it off? Okay. They say when they're coming into the body, they'll say, oh, I don't like this at all. Why did I sign on for this? They said, this is cramped. It's restricted. They said, this energy is so heavy and dense. What was I thinking of? Because over there, it's so free and beautiful, and you can do anything you want. And you come into the body, you have all these limitations and restrictions. You can't go where you want to go. You can't do what you want to do because you're living within the restrictions of the life. So anyway, when they're getting ready to go, then once they realize they're out of the body, you are never alone. Nobody ever dies alone. There's always somebody to be there to show them where to go. I call these people the greeters. They could be husbands, wives, relatives, maybe friends. If not, they're your guide or your guardian angel, whatever you call it. But they're there to help the person know where they're supposed to go. You're never alone during your life either, but you don't realize that. We come into this life thinking we're all by ourselves. But when you come into a life, you are assigned a guardian angel. You call it that, I call them guides. But you're always assigned at least one whose job is to be with you through your entire lifetime. If you need anything, if you want anything, they're there to help you. You're never by yourself. And we don't realize that. I have so many clients coming to me that say, I'm all alone, there's nobody I can talk to, nobody to help me. That's not true. You have at least one that's job is to take care of you during your entire lifetime. But they can't interfere. They can only help us if you ask for help. But if you ask them for help, boy, will they take over and they will do miracles for you once you understand they're there to help you. Now, if your life is complicated, you may have more than one. You can have as many as 4. But I like to think that you have one main one that stays with you all your life. Because if your life takes a sudden turn and you go in a different direction, maybe guides will switch places. And you have another one coming in that has more expertise in the line you're going to go in. so they can switch around. But there's always one that's with you your entire lifetime. That is loud. I wish. She said they're turning it down, aren't they? Okay, because I see people nodding off here. My voice has a tendency to do that too, but I think it's because of the air too. Okay. So anyway, when you're getting ready to go, if you don't have a friend, a relative to be with you, to meet you, the greeter, your guide will be there, because that's his job, to take you where you're supposed to be. So you're never by yourself. I think if we have some medical people here in the audience, you know, have you ever been, or even ordinary people here, have you ever been with someone who's dying and they see other people in the room with them? And they know who they are sometimes. And they'll tell you somebody's here. You know, they name, good. Okay. We'll just put up with it. I don't think we'll sweat to death in the next hour anyway. Okay. But if you've ever been with someone that's dying, you notice they look around the room and they see people around them. And they'll say, so-and-so is here. And the doctors always say, oh, that's just over-medication. It's depriving of oxygen. That's all it is. They're hallucinating. But I think the ones who have this happen all the time in the hospital know it happens too much to be that way. The people who have come to be with them are there in the room, and they're ready to escort them to the other side. And if you notice when this happens, they're never afraid. They just say, oh, good, look who's here. It's always an enjoyable experience. So anyway, the greeter will take you where you're supposed to go. The first thing that happens, usually, is you'll be going down a tunnel. How many of you have had near-death experiences? There's always some people in the audience all over the world, you know, even no matter what the doctors and the skeptics say, this isn't real. I've run into it too many times. I know near-death experiences are real. The only difference is you don't go all the way, but you see part of it. And the classic examples, they usually show them as going through a tunnel. And as they go through the tunnel, sometimes they're met by somebody, and it says, in a near-death experience, and they'll say, are you sure you want to go, or do you want to go back? And they're given a choice. And it's always up to them. But as they go, they can see how beautiful it is over there. And they want to go because it is extremely beautiful. So as you're going, even through a near-death experience, they say as they go through the tunnel and they see this beautiful place, they go toward a white light. They usually see a white light. Now some of the near-death experiences people have told me about, they don't go that far. They just go up above and look down at the body, like in an operating room or an accident. But they've just left the body. They haven't really having a near-death experience. But in a real near-death experience, they see a light and they go toward that light. But in a real near-death experience, you never reach the light. You're always turned around and sent back before you get to that point. So I found out why. Okay. Yeah, don't turn anything on again. Leave it off, okay. Okay, she's one of the ones that work here, so I'm saying don't turn anything on again, okay. Okay. But they never go through the light. They always come back into the body. They'd have to or they wouldn't be alive again. So when you really die, you go through that white light. You may call that white light God, whatever you want to call it. It's a huge energy force. So when you die, you go through that white light. And do you know you are connected with the silver cord? Most of you know that. You have a silver cord that connects your body and your soul your spirit, the entire time you're alive. When you have out-of-the-body experiences, people can see the silver cord. But that connects you to the body the entire time you're alive. Every night you go out of your body. That's the fun time. Because the real you is the spirit, the soul. The body's what gets tired. And the real you, your spirit, would get awful bored sitting around waiting for you to wake up so it can continue with what it's doing. So when the body goes to sleep, the real you goes out of the body, and you can do all this exploring. The same thing that happens when you die and when you go to the near-death experiences. You can go to the other side, you can see everything over there, or you can go anywhere on Earth you want to go, or you can explore other planets. You do this every night. And the only way you remember it is if you're having dreams of flying or unfamiliar places. But we all do it. But in the morning then, when it's time to wake up, it's like you're reeled in, because the silver cord will always bring you back to the body that you occupy. So it's like reeling you in every morning. So when you die and you go through that white light, that energy force is so strong that it cuts the silver cord at that time. The silver cord is dissolved, and that means you cannot return to the physical body. And as soon as the spark of life is gone, the physical body begins to deteriorate. There's nothing there anymore. Then you're on the other side. And they always describe it the same way. It's extremely beautiful. But there is no pain associated with death.